We're on the internet?
Yep, internet's live. We're doing it live.
We did it. We're on the internet. Hi, people. Thank you for sticking around while we deal with all of the technical difficulties, including the ones in my brain. Because I am the host of the Stone Age Gamer podcast, Kris Randazzo, and I am sick as hell. So every time I laugh, I will be coughing, which will probably be very entertaining for all people involved. We're trying to figure out how to get Dan and his lovely wife Tiff on the show right now, as their internet seems to have, I think the technical term is shit the bed, which is delightful. So, but we have myself, our returning champion, Mr. Mike Sheridan.
Hola.
Who's just said hola. Or say it into the mic. Come on closer.
Hola.
There we go. And Dean DeFalco, who is currently
pulling his hair out.
Yeah, I think he may actually be dying because of all the technical difficulties. And Ryan Cross, the proprietor of StoneAgeGamer.com, is with us. Yeah. So we're going to start the show proper once we get Dan and Tiff back on. I have a script and everything. Here's a little peek behind the curtain. I printed out my script. I don't know where the camera is. Here, this is actually paper. I printed out my script so that I can read the intro and everything. And we'll explain the... just for anybody sitting here listening, anybody who's involved here before we start the show, about the $100 gift card. The way you enter to win the $100 gift card to StoneAgeGamer.com is just by subscribing to either our Twitch channel or our YouTube channel. If you're already subscribed, then you are already entered. It's pretty much as simple as that. So next week, after we've given everybody a week to listen to the show, we're going to pick a winner out of just pick a random name out of our list of followers/subscribers on either our YouTube or Twitch channels. And that random person will win the $100 gift card. And we will... Hey, look at that.
I got it, guys.
You got it?
I got it.
All right.
Everyone's here.
I can. Is everyone here?
Yeah.
We're doing it?
We're going to hit record right now, and then we're on the road.
All right.
All right.
There's that sound again. Test.
No, just let it go.
Yeah, just let it roll. Let it ride.
Just
test.
Let everything roll. We're going. We're recording.
Did you guys test? Test.
Test.
I hate everyone.
Testicles.
We love you. We're doing it live. We're doing it live right now. Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast for the week of May 20th, 2016. I am Kris Randazzo and I am your deathly ill host. Please forgive my coughing. With me tonight are lover of Rygar, Dan Ryan. And wearer of vests, Dean DeFalco.
Hello.
And joining us for the special 100th episode are she who is without last name, Tiff. Miserable little pile of secrets, Mike Sheridan.
Castlevania.
And Stone Age Gamer proprietor and overlord, Ryan Cross. Like I said, this is our 100th episode spectacular, which we've had lots of spectacular technical difficulties so far. And there are so many of us here that it's absolutely no chance that this will be anything but a complete and total dumpster fire. But will Mike and Dean finally make out on camera? Find out now. This is the Stone Age Gamer.
Shit, I'm bringing the video back up. I didn't know I was going to get dinner and a show.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of the Stone Age Gamer podcast, where much like you, we can't believe that you're still here. Since this is a milestone episode, we thought it would be fun to get the whole gang back together and bring every host the show has ever had on its run. And Ryan's here because we like him, and without him and his awesome website, this show would probably be called something else and likely not be listened to by anyone. We've got a full docket tonight, so before we get too much deeper into things, here's your weekly reminder that you, yes, you, can email us at mail@geekade.com. And let us know what you think of the show, what topics you would like us to discuss in the future, or just say hello, because we always want to hear from you, the listener. And if you're tuning into our live broadcast here on the Geekade Twitch channel, first, I'm sorry. Second, you can ask us questions right now, and we'll answer them just as soon as there's a break in the conversation. Also, you may have noticed, if you are listening to this audibly instead of with your eyes.
What?
Nailed it.
You're right, as opposed to all the other ways that you listen to shit.
I listen with
We
my
are
You know,
on rolling.
like, if you're using your fucking ears,
I'm holding a script and I still fucked it up. If you are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, you may have noticed that we have ourselves a brand new theme song. Chiptune artist Mark TDK Knight was kind enough to let us use his song Chubby Chubby Chip Chip as our new episode theme. Mark TK Knight is a super cool guy. I found him while doing research on the last episode of Wave Back, and we wanted to have a new theme song for episode 100 go up, and because we've been using the other one for 100 episodes, and thought it was time for a change, and I'm super fond of this new song, so a huge thanks to him. It comes from his album Reawakening and is available on his Bandcamp page, which is now has a permanent place in our show notes. So thank you, Mark, and with that, let's get down to business. How is everyone doing tonight?
Do you want to know? I'll lie. I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic right now. Nothing is wrong whatsoever.
I'm sweaty. Very sweaty.
I don't have to edit this, so I'm awesome.
I don't know what just happened, but it was awesome. We lost Dan, but we're still picking him up from Tiff's mic. It was fantastic.
We lost and gained at the same time.
We did. It was awesome.
Is that Dan 1 or Dan 2?
I don't know.
Fortunately, Dan is in proper stereo. I love every second of this.
Ryan, how are you doing?
Good. I can't wait to talk about the Cleveland Chameleon some more.
Yes! It never ends.
Glad we're bringing it back.
I was so proud of that April Fool's joke. Like, I can't believe how well that did. And all the conversation it started. The retro... What was it? The CDO? Oh, man.
Retro CDO
That was a hoot. And thank you,
How many
Dean.
people fell for it? Because it seemed like some people were falling for it.
Yeah, there was...
People asked if that was like a serious thing.
Yeah, there were some responses that seemed very angry. Like, how dare they do this?
Well, yeah, we didn't make a note that it was April Fool's to the end of the day, so we let people
Yeah.
shoot for a while on that one.
But that was a hoot.
I was gonna do the Cleveland Chameleon flashcard as the April Fool's joke, because obviously I have SD to SNES and I can get a Jaguar cart shell to tape together. But I kind of felt like I was beating a dead horse at that point in time. But then you came out with your own, so it kind of worked out that we didn't double up on the same thing.
I'm glad yours was quite good too. That was a good time. It was awesome.
Although everyone pointed out that stuff like that already exists, I had no clue that something like that actually existed. You could actually put a micro SD into a cassette tape to play it on your cassette.
It's astonishing what people will come up with. Anyway, so our main topic tonight, as suggested by Tiff, was we figured since we've been around for a while, let's see what other people who have been around for a while are up to. We're going to talk about all the major companies from way back in the day, all the old publishers and developers, and see who's still got it and who has fallen by the wayside. But I guess before we get any deeper into things, for anybody who's listening now, you may have heard that we're giving away a $100 gift card to StoneAgeGamer.com, courtesy of StoneAgeGamer.com. Stone Age Gamer product placement. Thank you. We're giving one of those away, and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to our YouTube and or Twitch channels. Each subscription is worth one entry, so if you are already subscribed, then you are already entered. It's that simple. If you are a new listener, if you're just finding out about these things, go ahead and give us a subscription on either Twitch or YouTube, and we will pick a name at random from those lists and announce it on next week's show, episode 101, and we'll take it from there. Dean, you look like you have something to say, which is awesome because I can see you because we're in the same room.
I haven't found my phone in 5 hours. I don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is either.
I'm scared.
Is it with the pizza?
It might be with the pizza. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. Remember, subscribe to us if
Yes.
you're not already subscribed, or follow, or do any of those things. I mean, hell, even give us a kiss. We'll take a kiss on the cheek, look.
Yeah. See, this is actually a really fun experience for us too because I'm usually about 2 hours away from these assholes, and now I'm in the same room with them, and it is fantastic. Like
It must
it's
stink like an asshole in here, though.
it truly does. It is a remarkable sense of smell. So anyway, let's talk about game companies. Let's start off with the very first third-party company that there ever was, Activision. How do we all feel about Activision?
I feel active about it.
Boo.
Apparently, I need to move.
What?
Why do you need to move?
You talk. I need
okay.
to get to the front of that somehow. I might need to sit on your laps.
Okay. Well, this is about to get sexier.
This is just about you trying to kiss me.
Yeah,
It really is. We're
You guys
gonna
talk.
make that happen.
I'll get my way over there in a minute.
So Activision was the very first third party. They were born out of people leaving Atari because they didn't like the way they were being treated, and they're still around to this very day, which cannot be said for a lot of Atari third party publishers. Like, there is no Imagic, there is no Data Age. Those companies are long gone. But Activision is a very different company now. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, what do they make besides Call of Duty? I don't even know. Maybe I'm just out of the loop.
They brought me Tony Hawk and Spider-Man.
They did.
We're good. I mean, it was Neversoft published, being published by Activision, but that Spider-Man game is dope as fuck, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was amazing, and really started to come off the rails as things went on with American Wasteland and whatever the hell the rest of them were. But the first couple of Call of Duties were really good too.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
Pitfall.
I feel like a lot
man.
of the stuff they were doing during that time was actually really interesting. Like, granted, I didn't care for Call of Duty. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I definitely respected it. Like, coming off of the success of Medal of Honor, it seemed like Call of Duty was just doing what Medal of Honor did and then did it better. And anytime Medal of Honor tried to get that back from them, it just didn't work. And Activision was also the company that brought us Guitar Hero, which was really fun when it first came out. Like, everybody loved Guitar Hero. I think the
still love
biggest...
Yeah, me
I'm not gonna lie.
I do too, yeah. I think the biggest issue I have with Activision is their love of beating things into the ground. Like, Tony Hawk could still be a viable franchise today, but they annualized that shit and it killed it. Like, I don't know. I think EA struck gold with their annualizing of like their sports games. I just don't think that works for everything. Like, the Guitar Hero stuff, they killed that. They killed Tony Hawk.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's on its way, man.
Yeah.
That Infinite Warfare is. I'm sure people are gonna buy the crap out of it. I'm sure of it, but it's already got so much negative buzz. It's ridiculous.
Well, all right.
Well,
Firstly, I'd like to try, hopefully, to see if this microphone works. Secondly, I do have something to say. There are no roster updates in Call of Duty or Tony Hawk or anything. Like, it's gonna be the same shit over and over again with the same guns and, same skateboards and stuff. None of that. I wish Call of Duty had skateboards. Actually,
They might get.
Tony Hawk's Call of Duty. Let's make that happen.
That'd be their next big thing. I think they need to start splicing their games. I think that would save the company right there. But yeah.
Didn't
Go ahead, Ryan.
sorry. Didn't they lose Tony Hawk? Isn't that why the last one was so terrible? Is because the license was running out and they had to get it out before they got it out the day of the license running out.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, that is.
Is that American Wasteland?
I didn't know it. That was Tony Hawk Ride was the last one. That was.
No, the
No.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5,
Oh,
which is just a buggy
I forgot
disaster
that even existed. Holy crap.
yeah, so did everyone else.
Huh.
Yeah, it was published on the last day that they had the license. So if it didn't come out that day, it would have the license would have just reverted back to fucking Tony Hawk, I suppose. And that's why when you buy the game, which I didn't do, but I watched a video of it, the first update that you have to download is 8 gigabytes because the only thing that is on the disc that you purchase is the first demo level. You have to then download the rest of the game.
Did you watch that video of the 5 games that or whatever it was?
Yep.
That's where I learned that because obviously I hadn't been following Tony Hawk since the early 2000s. That's where I learned about all.
That
I
is
just
delightful.
saw that the other day, but it's such a disaster, man. Like, how can you fucking do that? And they brought up a really good point too of, in the future when the Tony Hawk servers are offline, if you are a collector and you purchase this game, you will get the first level and will not have access to the rest of it.
Which is
It'll just be
super
gone.
exciting.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I love buying unfinished games. It's one of my favorite things about modern gaming.
I mean, unfinished games, unfinished dinners, unfinished laundry, soiled laundry, all favorite things of mine.
If
Do
only
any of you
somebody-
guys collect new games? Because that's like one of the things that really turns me off is really a lot of them aren't even the complete game on the disc or require some kind of internet to download a patch right off the bat so they can work properly.
I mean, I do, but I mean, I really only collect Nintendo stuff, and most of their stuff is complete, straight out of the gate. Like,
Right.
there's not a whole lot of that being added on later, with the exception of something like Splatoon. But I mean, there is always the instruction manual thing, which kind of bugs me as a collector these days. I miss instruction manuals,
Are we
but
still talking about
Activision, yes. Let's bring it back. Activision.
We got Skylanders on all done. No, not Skylanders. I'm thinking of wrong
No.
company.
Oh, you're right. Skylanders is Activision. You're absolutely right.
Skylanders is done too.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was Disney Infinity.
That's Disney Interactive.
Right. Skylanders.
Skylanders is Activision.
Are
Yeah.
they done with so Activision is calling on Skylanders too? The big figure war is over?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Disney
Yeah,
backed
Lego
out,
won.
so. Yeah,
I guess
that's right. Yeah, Lego Dimensions is still out there, so yeah,
to be
that's
fair, They
there.
were pretty late to the fight, like 3 years, 4 years late. But I mean, people like Legos, man.
Yeah, that seemed to do pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a vote around the room. Activision, do they still got it or don't they? I'm gonna say yes. Mike,
No.
Dean, Ryan,
No.
Dan,
Yes.
Tiff.
Absolutely.
All right, I didn't keep track, so.
On 3.
God damn it. And that's why, for the last 100 episodes, you have been a fucking host to look up to. Like the pressure I feel recording paper cuts the very next night after this horse shit, I'll tell you.
You're welcome.
I love you.
I love you more. All right, so next
Yeah,
up,
that's
speaking
probably
of,
true.
that is probably true.
Floor.
Yes, Dean has moved to the floor.
Right
This
in
is
front of my crotch.
things
It's
just
a
keep
good
getting
try.
better here. All right, next up on our list is Capcom. How do we all feel about Capcom these days?
Street Fighter 5.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of unfinished games, Street Fighter 5. That was something of a debacle. Dean, you actually have Street Fighter 5,
I
right?
do.
How do you feel about it?
They released it with, I think, what competitive people wanted, which was the online aspect intact and the versus intact. Besides that, there's not much going on. So if you're not in the competitive community anyway right now, it's kind of a waste. Is there something up there? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I do
Street
have it
Fighter
up
5.
there. Yeah, it's somewhere. Yeah. But I don't know. Like, is it worth it for me? Yeah, you could point at that one.
Oh, there's the camera.
Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that one. Not
yeah,
that one.
It's, I don't know. That
Technical
one
difficulties.
But, yeah, technical difficulties.
Good times.
But yeah, that one.
It's a nice booklet, right?
I don't know if it was worth it. It was.
It's kind of place for a booklet. There's no fucking booklet.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Stupid. There was some sort of DLC thing, and that was about it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Twitch thing. 'cause
Would
got
I
the
would I
deluxe.
recommend people to pay $60 for a half-finished game? No, especially if you don't like the competitive thing. I bought it because I was like into Street Fighter and I needed to brush up because we were going to a tournament in like 3 weeks. So I was like, fuck it, I'll buy some Street Fighter and I'll play it, and it was great. But yeah, no, without a story and stuff, and most of the characters not being in the game, not feeling it, man. It was kind of a bummer. But I don't know. I mean, at glance, what does it seem like? Because you guys don't have it, but you've seen a lot about it.
I actually do have it, and they actually got me for more money. I got the deluxe edition because I wanted that Ryu statue. Fuck them, because that thing is top heavy, and I have to lean it on a Sonic the Hedgehog cart.
I saw that. I was at his house earlier. He's got a Sonic the Hedgehog cart stuffed under Ryu's feet. It's
I like
fantastic.
I like it.
Tiff, we haven't heard much from you. What are your feelings on Capcom these days?
I haven't really been all that into Capcom since like the Disney games when I was a child, so I don't have a lot of opinion regarding the current state of Capcom. I'm actually struggling to think of something that it would even be notable for me.
They didn't put out Portal 2, so...
Yeah.
You're
No.
right. You're right. And if you're not going to come with a Portal 2, I just really don't see how you have much use in the industry anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's my question. Maybe I'm just out of touch, but what else have they made besides Street Fighter in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
notable.
Hunt? Did they even do
Some
the
kind
Duck
of a
Hunt
big
remake?
problem. The
Duck
Hunt.
Hunt?
DuckTales. That's what I
DuckTales,
meant.
or-
Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is more Street Fighter.
Yeah, but I mean that was really kind of around that same era, like the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. They were doing a lot of decent stuff. They were doing MVC. They did that Bionic Commando relaunch, which was hit or miss, but it was.
None of those were really up my alley, so I don't really have a lot of frame of reference.
But in this new generation, they haven't done much.
They have
the reboot of
It's pretty popular.
well,
For
yeah.
me, but
the reboot of Devil May Cry DMC that was that was also last generation, but that was pretty awesome. I mean, I liked it. The rumors are that Resident Evil 7 will be announced at E3 this year, and it will go back to like more of a horror theme, which I would be way into because the further it got away from a mansion, the less I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I feel like the series peaked at 4, and they haven't been able to match that since, because 4 still had the spooky horror, but it was also like genuinely scary and intense, and they have finally made the action feel good while still being limited, kind of like it was in the original Resident Evils. But then after that, they just kind of turned into shooters with zombie type creatures in it, and
5 and 6 were just not. They just weren't very good.
Yeah, no, just.
I mean, they were well made. They looked pretty and all that, but it lost everything that gave Resident Evil its charm. Yeah. Which is a weird way to put it, but the charm of grotesque zombies and shit. It's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a survival horror thing, and the survival.
Well, what's the deal with? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's the deal with Mega Man? Did they still have Mega Man when they decided not to do it, and dude said, "Okay, I'm gonna go do my own thing"?
They just don't want to do anything
Oh,
with it.
okay, well then they totally screwed themselves over with that. Then they to my mind, you're kind of done.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people would say that's kind of why Inafune left to go make Mighty Number 9 was because people wanted Mega Man. Capcom's like, nah.
I mean that's
just release
stupid.
the
You
first
have an
6
iconic
again.
game
Let's do that
developer
again.
who actively wants to make a game for you, and you're gonna say no? A game that has made you millions, you're gonna say no? That's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, I can understand the thought process of we don't want to do anything with this character until we are inspired to do it. But at the same token, it's been a long time, guys, and that just to have them be like, yeah, well, here's the triumphant return of Mega Man. It's the first 6 games on a disc again. And yes, they did a marvelous job of remastering those games to make them play properly on modern consoles. But at the same token, like, it's time to do something interesting and new with that character. It really is. Like, Mega Man, that whole franchise has been so versatile over the years with Mega Man Legends, Mega Man Star Force, Mega Man Zero, Mega Man X. Battle Network. Shit, we played Mega Man Soccer during the pre-show, for crying out loud. Like, the character is so versatile, and the fact that
then the new game looks so awesome. If his pitch to them was anything like what he's come up with what's called Mighty Number 9,
yeah.
If it's anything close to that, then they're absolute morons for turning him away.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Ryan, how do you feel about Capcom these days?
Oh, I was muted. Again, and this is probably going to be a trend through all this. Most of these old companies outside of Nintendo are shells of themselves, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of good to say about any of them. But so Capcom, again, all I can name is really one game that they've come out with in the last couple of years. To me, that's pretty crappy.
So they've got Street
Give me
Fighter.
more Adventures of Trombone.
Yeah.
Misadventures.
They've got Street Fighter. They still crank out the Monster Hunters, and they still do some decent work with Phoenix Wright. So, all right, let's go around the room. Capcom, how do we feel? I'm gonna go. No, they don't still have it. Mike,
nope.
Dean,
Negatory.
Ryan,
No.
Dan,
No.
Tiff.
They could have had it, but they don't seem to want it.
That's actually the best answer. Yeah. All right, so that's a big fat stinking no on Capcom. Next
Just
up,
as an aside there, Chris,
yeah.
and maybe this will be enough to get you into it. The next collab in Puzzle and Dragons
Knew this
is
was
Phoenix Wright.
Oh, that's delightful. I still don't think it's gonna happen, but
Come on, his leader skill is objection.
I don't even
Fucking
know what
awesome.
leader skill means.
You know.
Does it matter?
That's what like 90% of my conversations these days are. Honey, I got my 9th plus egg on my awoken fucking shit face bag. Like, awesome, babe. I'm so excited for you.
Don't fucking besmirch the good name of shitface
Oh,
bag.
I'm besmirched. Consider it besmirched.
Shitface bag has carried me through a lot of content.
Oh God. All right. Well, the second half of the immortal battle from our early episodes, Konami. I don't think this is really going to be much of a conversation. How do we... Dan, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Konami these days?
No? Shut up, Dean.
I wasn't talking to you, goddamn.
Oh.
If I don't know if you can see on the camera, but we are currently miking Dean's ass.
Yep.
Yes. Which is funny because there's a guy named Mike behind Dean, so you are miking... Right, anyway.
I have a lot of
Whoa.
opinions.
Butt sex jokes. So,
I think this is just gonna
Keep
end
it
up with
classy.
me getting it on, Dean. I think that's what everybody's trying to get.
They're shipping it, man.
Yeah.
They're totally shipping it.
I really dislike Konami currently because of how much they shit all over Kojima and fucking Metal Gear Solid 5 and just the debacle that has been his exit from that company. He's one of the guys where it's like, you know, you let that dude do whatever he wants to do, and fucking Igarashi was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Igarashi had to leave Konami as well because apparently they don't make video games anymore. Even though Metal Gear Solid 5 was amazing and they made a shit ton of money with it, that had nothing to do with Konami.
Yeah,
You know, that is
They
that
put
is
their name
all
on it.
Kojima Productions. So
And boy, did he make sure you knew it.
yeah, and I kind of like the big fuck you that he gave to Konami because every single chapter in that game, every segment has like written by Hideo Kojima, produced by Hideo Kojima, like there's credits for everyone, and he just like, here's my dick, look at it, it's all over this fucking thing.
I mean, that's
Like,
what I
it's-
do when I want to make presentations. I just whip out my dick and I say, "Here's my dick. Look at it. Give me money."
It worked, man. I
Thank
fucking all the money. Here you go, Hideo. But yet, like, oh god, I'm so disappointed.
Here you go,
And-
Hideo. Let's ride around on a horse in Afghanistan for 12 days.
Yeah, whatever. It's fucking dope.
I would love nothing more than to do that, actually.
Konami disappoints me greatly because they have two of my very favorite franchises. They have, you know, games that we don't talk about a lot, but fucking give me more Gradius, man. Like, come on, just, god damn it, Konami. Why do you have to be such assholes?
And when you even think about how cool they were just a few years ago, like, remember how exciting it was when they first announced Lords of Shadow? Like, sure, that game didn't turn out to be everyone's cup of tea, but that trailer was freaking awesome. When they were doing
Yeah,
that,
they were doing interesting things.
they did that Rebirth series on WiiWare, where they did like
That was
Castlevania,
cool.
the Adventure Rebirth, Gradius Rebirth, Contra Rebirth, shit, Contra 4 on DS.
Rebirth. Birth, the miracle of life? Why not?
Binding of Isaac.
The miracle of
Rebirth.
18-pound childbirth.
Oh god, no.
You don't come back from that.
None of that.
Come back to that. They might be the most disappointing company currently.
I don't
They
know.
have so much IP
Oh, wait,
that is.
I almost want to know who
Dan, I think you're being a little hard on him. Have you played the new Castlevania slot machine? It's pretty awesome.
That's a very fair point. And as fun as it is to, instead of like cherries, to be like, I don't know what blood oranges, is that fucking Castlevania enough
Holy
for
waters.
whole? Is it? Ugh,
Axes,
yuck.
holy waters, you know, all that
Wiggly
stuff.
Whips.
You're just
Wiggly
making
whips.
a password. That's it.
God damn it.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck
they don't
me.
even have Pro Evolution Soccer going on anymore. Like, Konami has got no irons in the fire, which is ridiculous. Like, when you think of all the great names that they have under their umbrella, you know, Castlevania, Metal Gear, Contra, Gradius, even the Sparkster, like the Rocket Knight kind of stuff.
We'll never see him again.
Yeah, we'll never see him
Why don't-
again.
Why don't we have a new Contra game? Like,
Yeah,
why
I
is
don't
there
know.
not like a hyper-realistic, like, Call of Duty style but not full of bros Contra game?
When was the
I have
last time
no
they made
idea.
a Contra? Like, PlayStation 1?
Rebirth, Contra,
No,
Contra.
there was
On
also
the
one
Wii?
on
The
PS2.
70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have
6 months ago, it was called Broforce.
Oh,
True.
okay, that
I'm
one.
okay with that.
But then you also have the fact that Konami is, as far as I know, the current rights holder to all the Hudson stuff. Like,
They are. They bought them. They
What the
bought
hell?
that company.
they
For-
bought
for
the
pachinko and
company,
slot
and now they're
machines.
not doing anything with it. Like Adventure Island and Bonk. Like, what the hell, guys? Where's my Bomberman?
Konami feels like the villain in a Revenge of the Nerds plot. like the jocks decided to finally get back on at the nerds, so they just took all of their daddy's money and went and bought Konami, and they're like, we're not going to put out any video games, ha!
Nerd.
What are you going to do now, nerds?
That is a very astute point, and I would like to point out that Konami is evil, and we should all. What did the nerds do in Konami to get? We should have a college Olympics and challenge Konami to it, and we can beat them.
Challenge Konami to a three-legged race?
Yes, we should
in
do
track
that.
and field for by Konami.
Oh, tiny. I was gonna say we should maybe boycott Konami, but considering I'm not Japanese, nor do I plan on flying to Japan to not play their slot machines, consider them boycotted. They're not gonna put anything out.
Easiest
So
boycott ever.
Yeah, just continue doing what I'm already doing.
I am not gonna get on a plane for 12 hours. Fuck you.
So I don't know, Mike. Would you like to put the final words on this one, since Castlevania is your favorite?
Fuck them. Fuck Konami. Like seriously, just fuck them.
So you're a yay on this one, right? You think they still got it?
Yeah, absolutely, completely.
I'm not even gonna go around the room. Let's just all say our answer at the same time. Does Konami still have it?
No.
No.
All right, good. That was fun.
Oh, that's right, Konami. Take that shit,
Suck
Mr.
it.
Konami.
Now, if I remember correctly, Konami won our Konami versus Capcom
They
battle.
just squeaked by, I believe.
And right now, we hate Konami more than we hate Capcom.
Yes.
That's a shame.
That's how it
Anyway.
works with your first love, Chris. It's always the hardest.
You either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Live long enough
Wow.
to become Konami.
That happens.
All right, well, this is going to be an interesting one. Square. They were Squaresoft way back in the day, making hits like Rad Racer and 3D World Runner and Final Fantasy. And
3D World Runner was never a hit. How dare you?
It totally was a hit.
There are people listening to this show that count on us for knowledge, and you just fed them some bullshit.
I was trying to think of another Square game.
Also, hasn't Square splintered into like 48,000 different companies now? Wasn't there like, aren't all the Squares connected? Like Square Enix and Squaresoft and some other soft thing over there, and a Square guy back somewhere over there.
They all
And
have
that
to
fucking-
meet to make a square.
They do.
They're like Bull Square.
Bull Square.
Who the fuck knows? So yeah, Square. They're still in it these days. They're still working hard.
They've made a comeback as of late.
Yeah, they've done some good things with the IDOS licenses.
call it a
they
comeback.
picked up.
They've been here the whole time.
Well, particularly with Tomb Raider. I mean, I don't particularly care for the way they treated the Legacy of Kain franchise with whatever the fuck Nosgoth was. I just heard it got canceled or killed the other day, and I didn't even know it actually came out.
I didn't know there was a new Legacy of Kain either, but that fucking last Tomb Raider game, and I don't have an X-Bone. We're not on the bone, but that fucking Tomb Raider reboot is dope as shit.
That was a really good
it's
game.
so
Yeah.
good.
They did good work, and obviously
It's
everyone's
so good.
salivating over Kingdom Hearts 3, and Final Fantasy 15 is finally coming out. So I mean, they don't have a huge output, but they're still making games.
Listen, they played
Final
their trump
Fantasy
card.
7
Yeah,
remake,
I was
man.
gonna- yeah, they played
Yeah.
their trump card. The remake's coming out now, man. That's when the money starts rolling. That
Yeah.
cash cow is coming for them.
Are they trying to make gaming better?
They're gonna make gaming great again, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna build a wall. It's gonna be a fabulous wall, and they're gonna get the Japanese to pay for
I was
it.
gonna say they're gonna make Konami pay for it.
They're gonna make Konami pay for it. Trust me. Mark my words. It's my real hair. I'm a
Make
cock.
Enix pay for
What?
it. They even have Enix putting out the Dragon Quest games, the missing Dragon Quest games are coming out on 3DS this year. Like,
Pretty dope.
Well,
they're doing
they
well.
did the Just Cause games too, and
Oh, shit,
Just
yeah.
Cause 3 was a big game that just
Yeah.
came out not too long
Those
ago.
games are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Magic Parachute, like, love it.
Oh,
They did
and
they did
Bravely
an interesting
Default.
game. Yeah,
Bravely Default.
Oh, true. Bravely Default. That was a
huge
big hit.
portable
Yeah,
title.
that was a big one.
Thank you, Matt.
and they did a what the hell was it called? Remember Me was a game that they picked up and published that I think it was originally going to be a Capcom one, but Squeenix eventually did it. It was
Yeah.
it was
So
really
this is
good.
what I'm saying. Every single one of us have said a different company name at this point.
Well, and I mean, they also have a huge grasp on the indie market right now. They have a whole development team department devoted to bringing in indie developers and focusing on their titles and making them a thing.
And they've done a far more respectable job of handling their Taito license, unlike what Konami did with Hudson. They handle their Taito stuff pretty well. At least they were a couple years ago. Like the version of Arkanoid they put on iPhone
That
was
was
great.
dope.
Like
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Well, and Dean, I mean, how much are you loving the Final Fantasy dungeons in Puzzle and Dragons?
Oh,
For the
collab me some
love
of that.
of God!
No, we need to talk about this because it's awesome, and I got some crazy ass monsters and stuff. I got Titus. I got Zidane. It's cool. It's cool shit, man. You know that. I mean, but it's little things like that. You know, when you start reaching out into other games to market yourself, that's kind of a big deal.
I mean, they're not flawless. They do like that. What was that mobile Final Fantasy game that was like there was absolutely no gameplay until you paid money for stuff? or
Well,
whatever?
and let's not forget
Oh,
about
Record.
that little thing, Final Fantasy 14, where they literally
Oh,
fired
man.
their entire staff to remake it.
Bad times.
Oh yeah, a lot of money lost, and I mean, 13 and 13 too weren't so hot either.
So I mean, yeah, they've had some recent missteps. Anyone else have anything to add before we put this to a vote?
Yes. Oh no, I was voting. Sorry.
Yeah, let's do it. How do we feel about Square Enix, Squeenix? I say yes. Mike?
Yes, I guess. I'm not playing anything by them, but they're putting shit out.
Dean?
It's like how Stella got their groove back, except it's Square Enix and they're making okay games again.
Well put, Dean.
So is that a yes?
Couldn't have said it better
Yes.
myself. Ryan?
Honestly, I thought my answer was going to be no to all these, but I have to say yes for Square.
All right. Dan?
Puzzle and yes. Yes and
Puzzling,
Dragons.
yes.
And Tiff, whenever you're done rolling your eyes at that last comment.
I would say yes, and probably the most interesting on the list because I think they've still got it. Well, I'm not going to say that they still have what they had, but I think that they recognize that and are trying to do things differently, and I respect that.
They've definitely been through the most shit and have come back out of it pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, they're still a viable brand, and that's good on them. I mean, the sheer hype around Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts 3, like, it's ridiculous. So good on them for that. All right, this next one. Rare.
That's still
Rare.
a thing? They're a company
Ugh.
still?
Rare.
Kinda.
I don't know that I liked Rare then.
I love Rare. Back in the day, Rare made so many great games. Resistance Warriors, RC Pro Am.
Yeah, are we gonna do this? Because my heart's gonna bleed on the floor right now.
It's painful, but so Rare today is an interesting experience because ever since they've been bought by Microsoft, I don't think they're such a shell of their former selves, and I believe the biggest representation of that is in fact Killer Instinct on Xbox Live. It is it's almost fun to play.
And side note, they actually released that for free on PC now, and you don't have to do anything to get it. You just download it. You get a character to start with, and then it's kind of like League of Legends. You can pay for the characters if you want and go along that way. But I mean, it's an interesting prospect. But who the fuck
Nah, it
really
still
wants to
sounds
play?
awful.
Yeah, Killer
Yeah.
Instinct right at this point. There's other fighter games out there that
There's
are
a goddamn
more viable.
Battletoad in Killer Instinct, and he looks awful. He looks hideous.
I was gonna say, like, it may be free, but do I still have to play Killer Instinct after I download it? Because then I don't want to.
Therein lies the problem.
Like, if it's free, but I get to play, like, I don't know, fucking Time Killers, I would rather do that.
Mike, how does Rare make you feel?
I mean, they put out the Rare replay,
Yeah,
That's something.
Rare Replay kills me because it's like, hey, remember how good we used to be?
Here's
Check
a
out all
full
this,
game
check
worth
out
of
all
it.
this stuff of like all these great games we used to make like way back in the day, and Grabbed by the Ghoulies is on here too, and
And also cameo elements of power.
Yeah,
It wasn't, and that was Xbox exclusive, right?
Yes, that was
Yeah,
a release title, I
it
believe.
was going to be a GameCube game. It's actually on the back of the box. If you have a first run GameCube, cameo elements of power is on the back of the box for the GameCube, and then the rare
see
cube.
now. Sorry, I was going to say I'm going to go out on a limb and say that most owners of the Xbox One couldn't give 2 fucks less about old Rare games. That doesn't seem to be their target demo.
And that's such a damn shame. I mean, just look at how poorly all of this stuff has been handled. Like, yes, having the Battletoads stuff in the Xbox version of Shovel Knight was really cool. That's a hell of a get. But if you know, shoehorning the Battletoad into Killer Instinct is awful.
They're trying.
What was it? Conquer in what the hell? Project Spark?
Yeah.
What in the world are you thinking? That's not what you do with that character. Like they have such an amazing catalog, and this is where I've been so torn on Nintendo giving up that company for ever since it happened, because when they gave up on him, I was like, all right, I understand why they didn't buy the company. Look at what they've done for them lately. Like they haven't really done anything all that impressive. They're a shell of what they used to be. The Stampers aren't even there. But then I think about all of those IPs that are just sitting there collecting dust, not doing anything. And when I think about what Nintendo could be doing with those brands, that's the part that kills me. But I mean, like,
oh yeah, I mean, you know, Banjo-Kazooie was synonymous with the Nintendo 64 as Donkey Kong or Mario, and now they've kind of gone to pasture because they're never coming out. But I'm getting Ukulele, so whatever. I don't give a fuck.
That's true. Yeah, Ukulele is coming out. But there's another one of those perfect examples.
How is it possible? Because Rare has been owned by Microsoft for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
How have they not made a fucking Battletoads game? Like
Good question, man. Because that would sell.
Yeah, that would be so cheap to do and would single-handedly pay for the investment.
Yeah, even a remaster
That's
would probably
really
gain
stupid.
them a lot of money, you know?
Well, they tried to. They tried to make a Battletoads game, actually, for all things, the Game Boy Advance of all things. They tried to make a Battletoads game for it, and it was coming out awful because, unfortunately, all the talent left that company. There was none of the really...
I'm pretty sure that Microsoft could afford some more.
They should. Yes, they absolutely should. But instead what Microsoft did was they put them on friggin' Kinect duty. And they were the ones making all the avatars and all that shit. Like,
Duty is right.
well said, Mike. Duty is right. Ryan, how do you feel?
I don't. They suck. I mean, if all you
I'm an Android.
have to hang your hat on is Killer Instinct and re-releasing your old games on a compilation, that's pathetic, really. I mean, I don't even know why they still exist as a company, to be honest with you.
It's really interesting. Just when you said that, I just made the connection that it's so similar to what Capcom is up to right now. Like, with the exception of Monster Hunter and Phoenix Wright, Capcom did a piecemeal Street Fighter and Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
They're kind of phoning it in, man. But I mean, just Rare's been pretty much non-existent, which is it's sad because there are a lot of things out there by Rare, but it's not happening.
Yeah, man, I would love to see a new Snake Rattle and Roll. I would love to see a new RC Pro-Am.
Actually,
That'd be
that
great.
was mentioned on here that someone said they wanted a new Snake Rattle and Roll remastered. Yeah, Ogre. Wait, it did. Nope. That was I don't. Someone said it. It's in here. Oh wait. Oh God, no.
This is great.
Internet.
This is fine
Internet.
program.
Oh no, it was Ogre. Okay, I got it right.
I could completely agree with you, Ogre. Snake Rattle and Roll is freaking fantastic. I loved that it was on Rare Replay because I love that more people got a chance to play that game. But yeah, I would love to see that shit modernized. So, all right, let's do it. Let's go around the room. Me, Rare, I say a hell no. Mike.
Nope.
Dean.
Do I really even need to say it?
You really don't. Ryan, I think you already gave us your answer.
He doesn't feel. He's cold on the inside.
Dan.
Send it back to the kitchen and bring that shit out when it's well done.
And Tiff.
I don't think they ever really had it.
Ooh,
Ouch.
deep cuts.
Yeah.
All right, here's
You
another
love
interesting
Goldeneye.
one.
Okay, so you get one?
You get
That's a
one.
good
They
one
just
to have, though.
I'm not a fair judge of this because they've never really put out games that were really my cup of tea. If GoldenEye had not been as spectacular as it was, I never would have even touched it because what the hell do I give a shit about James Bond? And the answer is none.
You weren't a Donkey Kong Country fan?
I guess.
That's a
I mean,
reason.
you
I
don't
mean-
have to be. It was just a
What a
just
fucking
question.
endorsement.
I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy it. I think I like Donkey Kong more on nostalgia than anything else. I don't know.
All right, well, let's move on to our next company, which would be SNK, because they're still around. Boy, oh boy, they're these guys. I feel like these guys have just like refused to even change over the years. Like, they're still making the same 4 games.
They just put out King of Fighters every year. Like, that's it.
Yeah, but they transitioned to 3D now, so that's a big deal.
Yo, they were doing Metal Slugs for a while there.
I want a new one.
Remember when they were doing like, here's Metal Slug 13, and here's Metal Slug 13X. It's fantastic.
I could go for a new Metal Slug, but again, Broforce. Like,
kind of has
that
that
kind of.
not
There is
saving
new
Jesus
King
in
of
that.
Fighters coming out though, right? Like,
Oh yeah, there's
Or-
always a new King of Fighters coming out. You could Google King of Fighters every year, and I'm sure you'll hear of a new one being released.
Shoot, I'm
King of
sure
Fighters.
they're making it for the Neo Geo. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
true.
how they.
yes.
Do you guys see that they just adopted a new slogan?
No.
The future is now.
Oh, apparently
Well,
that
that's a good
one.
was 20 years ago.
And their Wikipedia page, instead of having like any cover to any game that they've ever made, it's just a row of attractive Japanese women. Just standing in a building that says SNK on the side of it.
You know
That's
what?
it.
If you're gonna get what's up?
No, go ahead.
If you're gonna get anyone's attention, a row of hot Japanese women is the way to do it.
Do you really need anything else?
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't.
I guess not.
Well, I mean, probably not to women who would find that degrading, but yeah, I mean, Japan is an odd culture, so fuck it, why not?
SNK is just the waifu company. Like,
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, all I hear about is King of Fighters that they do anymore, and I mean, that's really the only notable game I've ever played by them, besides Metal Slug, but I mean, Metal Slug gets kind of tired after a while. It's the same game every time.
They don't really seem to have much of a catalog anymore. Like, I think of SNK, I think of like NES games like Ikari Warriors and Guerrilla War and friggin' Iron Tank, right? That was SNK, I think.
I
Sure,
think
Yeah,
so.
I have
Yeah.
never played any of these games. This just missed me completely.
Aren't they called
I-
SNK Playmore now or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
they
loved
just
all their
they just
fighting
dropped
games.
that for the future is now thing.
Oh, good.
So it's-
They made some
play less.
really, really amazing fighting games, like in the mid to late '90s and even
yeah.
maybe 2000s. But fucking World Heroes was dope as shit. Samurai Showdown was
Showdown, hell yeah.
incredible. But like to me, they've always been a fighting game company that was like, we're also going to dip our toe in this little Metal Slug thing over here. Like they've always had other games, like fucking. I think I love Magician Lord probably more than anyone else, but you know-
I've never even heard of that
It's
one.
a tough game.
Yeah,
Magician Lord is fucking
yeah, it's awesome.
dope. It's so good. I would kill for a new Magician Lord, but like one that wasn't a quarter muncher, so like it wasn't impossible. But they haven't been relevant probably since the mid '90s, since like Samurai Showdown was rivaling Street Fighter.
Yeah. So they're still
Because I don't.
kicking, but they're not.
Yeah, they still put out stuff, but like
what was the property that they did in the versus Capcom? Was that?
it was SNK versus
Versus
Capcom.
No, I know that, but what characters?
Oh, it was all from. It was
Yeah,
characters
King
from
of
Fatal
Fighters,
Fury,
Showdown.
Okay.
Samurai Showdown, like, and oh god, Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves,
Mm.
like that on Dreamcast is probably one of the best fighting games ever made that nobody played
Yeah, the
because it came out at
was
the
good.
end of the Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast is horrible for fighting games.
Still kicking's a strong word for them. I mean, I feel like it's more like that kind of kick that you do when someone tells you to wake up in the morning and you kind of like half-heartedly throw your leg out at them.
They're still flopping.
Yeah, it's flopping.
The last time they released a game was in 2010.
No, really?
That near as I can tell.
That
It
doesn't
looks
seem
like it was
right.
King of Fighters 13 was the last.
I have to imagine what happened was, like, in the mid-90s when everything started to go 3D, they're like, this is just going to be a fad. Well, we're going to stick with the 2D. And we're going to stick with our Neo Geo platform.
We're gonna keep putting these on these giant cartridges. Everyone's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, didn't they make games up until 2004, 2006 for the Neo Geo?
They supported that thing.
I mean, then what kind of base did that even have? The home console, anyway. I can understand the arcade units, but I mean, how many home consoles did they even sell that continue to support that thing?
7.
I mean, to me, obviously SNK was not about making a lot of money ever.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were
really,
just about making
It looks
games.
they were just about making some games and everyone gets to have a roof over their head and eat at night, and that's kind of what they've always been. And I guess that's
That's cool,
what they
though.
are now.
Like, that's respectable.
Tiff's
They
right.
also had... There was a Neo Geo arcade game that was a first-person samurai game, and I don't know the name of it, but it was fucking hard as shit, but I loved it. Loved that. Like, I love a lot of what this company did. They were just they never hit the pinnacle. Like, they never got up to, I don't know, nobody else gave a shit.
okay. I have a couple of notable things here.
All right, go ahead.
I'm researching. They apparently have switched like mobile. It looks like they're putting like adult themed mobile games now.
Oh
Ooh.
man.
Ooh.
Row Japanese women.
But another company just acquired an 81.25% stake in the company, and the reason that they gave for doing that was to gain the rights to SNK's IPs and further develop them by following Marvel's approach to mass media with games, comics, film, and television.
Yes.
So even though they can only make App Store games now, we're apparently about to have a 13-run movie series based on Fatal Fury.
I want 13 Fatal Fury movies. Give me Terry Beauregard.
Oh, Terry Bogard in live action.
My
I
Shinru.
want- Make it happen.
And who's the fucking what's the main villain in the Fatal Fury games?
Geese?
Gideon or Geese? There we go, Gideon. Like I fucking.
He's named after a bird. I mean, it's a
Oh,
fierce
he's-
bird, to be fair.
He was so hard
Yeah,
in
Geese will
SNK
fuck
versus
you up.
Capcom. Oh, Geese was fucking. Ugh.
Yeah. All right.
Wasn't
well,
he a goose? He was like a whole flock of them.
exactly. He was geese. Or,
Flock of angry geese.
what was the Samurai Shodown one? Amakusa or?
Something. Oh, that guy was a fucking dick too.
Yeah, seriously. All right. Well, since I haven't made any games since 2010, I guess this wasn't really the best one to pick, but we still had a fun conversation out of it. So, knowing what we know now, and yay or nay, do they still have it? I'm gonna say they got something. So maybe, Mike,
Nope.
Dean.
Movies. That's all I got.
Ryan?
Magician Lord. The movie.
I'm gonna say no, but honestly, even though I like SNK, I had an MVS cabinet that I just moved down to the store in Ohio. I'm not sure they ever really were that big outside of the arcade, especially.
Yeah.
So no, I guess.
Dan?
I still think they have what they've always had, which is a fucking stranglehold on their niche.
That's true. They do, for their audience, they make everything for them. For anyone else, they don't know they exist.
Tiff?
Well, that's okay because I don't really know they exist.
Fair enough. All right, we're down to the last two. This one is also strangely sad. Sega.
No.
Good old
Boo.
service game.
Gotta
No.
go fast.
Boo hiss, boo earns.
Are we really gonna do this? Cause like, we all know the answer.
Yeah, we do. They don't still have it.
They never did.
They had it. They
Shut up. They had it. They had it.
They
They
definitely
had it up until the Dreamcast, and
Mhm.
they lost it.
And then things went downhill.
I think they
super
really
quick.
started to lose it in the Saturn and then the Dreamcast. Like they really did have some great stuff on the Dreamcast, and it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to compete with the hype.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy Taxi.
hey,
Hey, I
listen.
love Crazy
That
Taxi.
Yeah,
game was
like-
fucking awesome.
yeah, that-
I would take 10 Crazy Taxis over half the over a Fantavision any day of the week.
Oh man, could you imagine like a Grand Theft Auto style Crazy Taxi? That would be so awesome.
That would be scary. That'd be a fucking scary taxi driver. Oh. I mean, but you had things like Power Stone.
That was Capcom.
That was Capcom.
I mean, but it released on the Dreamcast.
Oh, true.
You had what was it? Seaman. I'm talking about just the Dreamcast in general because that was a pretty fucking cool system. It was
really interesting.
Sonic CD.
Bad time, you know.
Sega CD was. I really think that might have been where they started to lose it when they were just going peripheral crazy and like, and the Sega CD and the 32X.
Hey, listen, the 32X is a monolith to horror movies everywhere.
Buy the activator.
I love the 32X. Mainly because I had one when I was a kid because my mom would never buy me a Saturn because that was before the PlayStation or whatever. So I had to play the hell out of my 32X, but it does suck overall.
Chris and
But I still love
too.
it. I have a soft spot for it.
I do have a soft spot. I collect 32Xs. I think I have 9 of them right now.
Yeah, Chris and I love it. We love to hear it scream, particularly when we turn it on, that it wants to be turned back off and sleep again forever. It's like some kind of fucked up weird mandragora that just needs to sleep all the time, otherwise it'll scream in pain and oh god, it's terrible. I have nightmares about that.
Knuckles Chaotix. But then you had like, what a great port of Afterburner on the 32X. I played the shit out of Afterburner on 32X. I loved that. Star Wars Arcade was pretty rad. Knuckles Chaotix is kind of terrible. But,
That was confusing.
yeah. But, I mean, man, poor Sega. You think about all the cool things that they could be doing. Like,
Well, what?
Well, Yakuza's coming out.
Basically,
Shenmue.
Basically, they're kind of going down the path of Konami, even though they've had less than Konami in recent memory. I think they're more into the slot machines and stuff now too, or at least over in Japan. And I mean, what do they have now? I mean, the only thing of note that I can think of is Sonic, which, well, you know,
Sonic Boom.
is what it is, and in the Total War franchise, which they're slowly running into the ground as well. So,
Hey, listen,
I mean,
like Warhammer Total War, gonna be the shit. Maybe, probably not. I mean, I hope, but it's probably not.
well,
gonna be good.
I hope
Maybe.
it's good, but it's probably gonna suck because it's Sega is gonna force Creative Assembly to rush it out, just like they did with the last Total War, because reasons I don't know. I guess they'd rather just not have money. The same with the latest Sonic game.
Yeah, well,
What you have this franchise which was so beloved. Why would you make a shitty game? It makes no sense. Why would you not say, you guys stay here until this game is good, and then we're going to release it. I don't care how long it takes,
Yeah,
but we're
just
going to
keep
release a
working on it
good
till it's
Sonic
done.
game. Instead, they're just like, hey, you guys got 6 months to make it. Whatever you have after the 6 months after we release it, everyone's going to hate it. And that's that.
I
mean,
remember watching the Game Grumps played, and that was a train wreck. Just one
Sonic
bad
Boom
thing
was-
after another.
And like, what really hurts about Sonic Boom was that the franchise was starting to vaguely correct itself with shit like Sonic Colors, which was actually a decent game, and like Sonic Generations, which had some good parts to it. Like,
Some semblance, yeah.
and even the DS games, Sonic Rush and Rush Adventure, were genuinely fun games. And like the ship was starting to right itself, and then they just went, and Sonic Boom.
Valkyria Chronicles is Sega.
Valkyria Chronicles.
That was a good game.
That was
like,
a good game.
And that was pretty recent too. That was PS3. I mean,
Yeah,
not
PS3,
all
yeah.
that recent,
But
but
you also think of like friggin' remember that Knights sequel that came out? Like everyone wanted a Knights sequel for years and years and years, and they made one for the Wii, and it should have been amazing, but it wasn't. It was just subpar. The first stage is kind of fun to play, and like, how do you even? Knights is not a complicated game. There's not a lot to that game. It's just fun to fly around,
I
and they
also-
still managed to screw that up.
I think a lot of the problem is, in the Wii era, I feel like Sega played very partial to putting a lot of their characters and stuff. Well, a lot of the Sonic stuff on the Wii, and maybe not the best choice.
Well, no, I mean the Sonic. What was it? The only exclusive Sonic games were Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight, but all the other like Sonic 4, the second chapter of that didn't even come out on the
Yeah,
Wii.
no, they
like,
didn't do it.
Then and all the other like Sonic Unleashed was the big thing of that era, and Sonic 2006, that abomination was exclusively
hang on.
not on Nintendo platforms.
What about the pinnacle of Sonic games that doesn't even star Sonic? Shadow the Hedgehog.
Ugh. Ugh.
It's so good. It's so good.
But then you also have to look at Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transformed, which
Oh,
that's
that
a
was-
fucking
that was
mouthful,
Okay.
but that's a great game.
it
It is a great game. But they're also responsible for Super Monkey Ball, so they can fuck directly off.
Hey, I like Super Monkey Ball.
Honestly, I thought All Stars Transform was better than Mario Kart, the latest Mario Kart game.
I did
personally.
Until 8. I thought it was better than 7.
I don't know if I played 8. No, I think I do have 8.
8's
and I didn't like it as much.
Really? Well, I mean,
To be honest with you.
I respect that. I mean, Racing Transform has a lot of different things to it. I remember Mario Kart 7 for 3DS being a bit underwhelming, and like Racing Transform was flat out better than that. But there was something about 8, like I play the shit out of it. I still play the shit out of it.
It's a magical game, like it's a really good game.
But Racing Transformed is great. Like, it's a legit good game, and it's got so much great Sega fan service. It's like nods to Fantasy Zone and Panzer Dragoon, like.
But it's kind of it's kind of depressing at the same time, because you look at all this fan service in the game, and you know they don't give a shit about any of it.
Yeah.
Like they're never gonna release a new Skies of Arcadia, and they might release a remastered Shenmue, but that's only because they'll be forced to, since the Shenmue 3 will be coming out. But other than that, they don't really. Besides Sonic, what other old franchises do they care about? I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either. Well, we all knew this was coming, but let's do it anyway. Does Sega still have it? I say no. Mike?
I never thought they had it.
Oh, Dean?
I gotta go fast. No.
Ryan?
As a Sega fanboy when I was a kid, unfortunately, it really depresses me to say no, they don't have it.
That's a damn shame. Dan?
Dude, he just dropped Mike and was like, fuck this noise.
Dan's out. Tiff? Are you guys still there?
She's upset about it too.
Wow.
So what's next? Wisdom Tree or?
Yeah. Do they still have it?
Yeah, let's go with Acclaim. Yeah, let's do Acclaim. Or what was popular in the chat before was Broderbund. Broderbund. Yeah.
Spelunker, Guardian Legend. Love that company.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to keep going, because we're already deep into the podcast. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
there.
we're back.
Fuck Sega.
Fuck Sega.
All right, there we go.
And Tiff?
In the back.
I'm ambivalent.
All right, so last one.
Yeah.
Last one, because we have to talk about it. Nintendo. Obviously they've gone through a whole.
Okay, I think that anybody that has ever listened to the show ever is going to know what's happening here.
I'm really curious what you guys have to think about it. I have to say about it, because I mean, obviously you know that I still love the company, and they're in a really interesting transition period right now. Like, the Wii U it's not a flat out, oh my god, horrible failure. It's not the Virtual Boy, but it certainly isn't a moneymaker. It certainly can't be considered a success. And they're diversifying. They're looking into making movies and theme parks and all sorts of other shit. Like, I will follow them to the end, and I'm very interested to see where they go. But shit, they are bringing one game to E3 this year. One game. I don't care if that one game is Zelda. You're bringing one game to E3. That's not okay. I do not think that is a good move on their part. But maybe they just don't have anything else to show. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
My opinion on this is that as a video game developer, no, I don't think that they still have it. As a media company, they're getting up there with Disney and Marvel and all that kind of stuff, and that's great for them. But I personally would like it a little better if they would at least devote a wing of one of the buildings to maybe being an actually interesting video game developing company still.
I mean,
go ahead, Ryan.
I would say just purely video games, they still have it, but their decisions and their hardware side obviously have been questionable. Even though the Wii was a huge success sales numbers wise for the system, I mean, I don't think the game sold all that well on it. I think just the system with the pack-in game and whatever. The Wii U obviously was a failure. Even though I personally like the system by itself, it obviously is a failure of a system. If they screw up on the NX or whatever it's supposed to be, I think they're done as a hardware company. I think they're going to have to go the route of Sega, which scares me into thinking that they'll probably end up like Sega in the end if they have to go away from the hardware market.
I kind of think they're like Captain America. They battered, bruised, beaten, bloody, and he gets back up. I could do this all day. I think that's Nintendo. They're just gonna get up and keep fucking trying because that's what they do. They're one of the original console companies to really break into the market, and they're not gonna let this go without a fight. And they're gonna keep on trying until they can't do it anymore. And I think this battle is far from over. I think they got a few more generations to go.
Mike,
See, I think it's more Jurassic Park. It's they were so interested in wondering if they could, they never stopped to think if they should.
Well, all right, fair point.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm kind of with Chris on this one. I'm a big Nintendo fanboy, so I'm going to support them to the end. I love my Wii U. I love the Virtual Console and all that, but the titles that they're putting out right now, it's not like I haven't bought a new Wii U game in a while. I want to buy Star Fox, but you know I don't buy new games because I'm cheap.
I don't think Nintendo is ever going to go away as far as a console maker simply because of their mobile market or handheld market anyway. Like there's nobody else. They are really the only game in town. As much as I like the Vita and it's a good system and there's good stuff on it, it's not a 3DS. So as long as they've got that and Pokemon, they're still doing okay for quite a while. What disappoints me about Nintendo is that it's just more of the same. There's just nothing new, you know, and some of the questionable decisions I think that they've made over the years of like how is it possible that the 64 did not have a Metroid game? Now it probably would have looked like shit, but there was no Metroid game there, and we're about to go through a Wii U with no new Metroid title. And I'm not fucking buying Super Metroid again. Like, you can keep trying to charge me $5 for that shit, Nintendo, but I'm not buying it again. I've bought it 7 times at this point. Like, fuck off. Enough.
Yeah,
Give me something new. Give me something something different, something interesting. Like what was the last new Nintendo IP that was like Pikmin?
Splatoon.
Yeah,
Splatoon.
and I think before that was Pikmin.
Before that, they had some. Before
But again,
Pikmin,
it's all still kind of chibi, brightly colored cartoon characters. It's all still kind of the same.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, well, what's the alternative?
Yeah,
Making a big bunch of fucking dumb gray guys? Like,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not
Yes.
gonna hold.
They're not. They're
I'm
not
not
gonna
gonna
go the
hold
Call of
color
Duty route,
against
yeah.
Nintendo. I think
Well,
that's
no,
a terrible thing to say. Like,
I,
they're the only ones
I'm not
that are
saying
doing
I'm
that
not
shit.
saying color. I'm saying cute.
What's wrong with that?
I love cute games.
Yeah, I think,
I like cute games too, but I think if they're just going to bank on cute, that's not a viable way to stay competitive.
Yeah,
and
but
I
they're
also
the
agree
company
that I think
published
that
Fatal
they
Frame.
need
They're the
to.
company that published Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
Like, they're not only relying on cute. Like,
Yeah, but Bayonetta 2,
No,
nobody
but-
bought.
But they
yeah, nobody
they
bought it. It
themselves
was a
like
goddamn
Nintendo.
great game.
Yeah, and I
Like,
mean, to
and
be
they
fair-
marketed the shit out of it. They put fucking Bayonetta in Smash Brothers.
What?
The fact that nobody bought that game is that onus is not on Nintendo. That's on the people that didn't buy the fucking game. Like,
I don't know that I'm going to say that.
Well, I mean, you know, to be fair, on the going back even further, they also put out Resident Evil 4 before anyone else did, and I mean, that was a pretty fucking big deal. Like that didn't come out for like another year on the PS2.
no, and
Yeah.
it may have been a shitty game, but they're the ones that made Devil's Third come out. I mean,
Yeah, well,
They
and I,
dip their
you know,
toes into
right
this other
around
stuff.
right
Like-
around GameCube, I really thought that that's where they were going. I really thought that Nintendo was finally growing up with me, kind of thing. I mean, I played the shit out of my GameCube, and I think the game that I played most on my GameCube was Eternal Darkness. So I really thought that they were going that direction, but I'm not feeling that anymore with the Wii and Wii U. It's mostly just cute.
I don't know that they have a viable option going forward when you compare what you can get on a Wii U versus what you can get on an Xbox One or a PS4. The variety just isn't there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's to Tiff's point of like the games are just cute. Like Splatoon is decent enough, but it's not something that really hooked me because it's too damn cute. And I know I wasn't necessarily the target audience for that, but the target audience for Splatoon, I don't think Nintendo realized are calling each other queers on Xbox Live while they fucking play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Like those were the
You got a
kids
point
that they
there.
made it for, but they're not playing Splatoon. They're already gone.
Somebody is.
I mean, no, don't get me wrong. Splatoon's a very popular game on the Wii U, which I guess comparatively, you know.
But
Call of
that's what
Duty-
you're saying. Like,
But if
very
you have-
popular on the Wii U means
Well, and if you have a Wii U, do you have a lot of competition? I mean, if you have a Wii U and you're going to spend X amount of hours on it, how many different viable popular things are you really spending your time on?
I guess it depends on the kind of gaming that you like to do. I mean, I own Splatoon and I barely play it. I appreciate the game.
Yeah, us
for
too.
being-
We bought it and we were like, this is fantastic. You remember I was so excited for that
Yeah.
game to come out, and we played it for 45 minutes and we've never turned it on since.
I mean,
We've never even turned the Wii on since.
Nice.
That's a shame, but I turn it
Yeah,
on
you know,
all the
when we
time.
got it.
I mean, I play mine all the time. I'm playing Twilight Princess HD. I'm playing Star Fox. I just started
Like-
playing Guacamelee. I just started playing Super Meat Boy because I never finished that one when it came out. It just got released on the Wii Shop.
Yeah, but,
I mean,
but we play all those on other systems.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris. Like, I understand that you play it all the time. I think if you had both, I don't think your Wii U would get as much play as it currently does. And I say both, either an Xbox One or, well, not an Xbox
Yeah.
One. Let's be
no, if
honest.
I had both, I would have a
But
PlayStation
if you had a
4.
PlayStation 4, your Wii U would barely be touched.
Yeah, the
What
only
would
time
I-
that our
what would I
Wii U
be
ever
playing on
gets
my
turned on
PlayStation
is to
4?
play the party games with the kids.
I think Chris that is a different audience than what you're talking about, because
It's possible.
Because I'm not going to play Twilight Princess HD on my PlayStation 4. I'm not.
Maybe you're not, but I will.
I guess that's really what it comes down to, is like, I like the games that Nintendo makes, and granted they're not making that many of them these days, but they're still the games
Well,
that I like to play.
Yeah, well, and I guess, I mean, that I guess is kind of my point, and it kind of defeats my point a little bit to say it, but like on the Wii U, like one of the big releases this year on the Wii U was an HD remake of a game that already came out, and Uncharted 4 just came out.
Yeah, and that's really,
You know, like you look at those two things, and it's like, well, I already played Twilight Princess.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it looks better, but I haven't had this experience yet. And Nintendo doesn't provide, I don't think, enough of those. I haven't had this particular experience yet.
And even looking, those two I think are relatively good side by side. Of you look at a game like Twilight Princess that is an open world adventure game, and then you look at a game like Uncharted that has both come out at around the same time, and you have to recognize that there's a vast difference in maturity there. That even though Twilight Princess isn't a kid's game, that it's still kind of cute.
I don't know that I would call anything in Twilight Princess cute. Not
Midna
even-
is adorable.
Yeah,
I'm
alright,
talking
I
character
guess.
design and color palette and
I don't
and
think
body
Twilight
art.
Uncharted,
Princess
yeah,
has a-
Uncharted has way more color than Twilight Princess.
Well,
like,
alright,
by a large margin.
I'm not. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the brightness darkness level of the two. I'm talking about a more mature color palette.
Oh, well, let's agree to disagree here. And I mean, from the chat, Willisaur says they have both a PS4 and a Wii U, and they still play the Wii U plenty. So let's just take it to the vote, and let's move on, because we still have a podcast to do.
They do. All right. Well, I mean, I will say that I think they still have it. I just don't know where it is. So that
That is
there's
an
my
excellent
answer.
way of saying that. I concur.
Mike,
I think they still got it.
Dean.
I go. They're fighting. They'll fight tooth and nail to still have it.
Ryan.
I would say they still have it, but the clock is ticking.
Dan.
I think they're currently in dropping it. It's
They have
like
it, but
a
they're
s-
fumbling.
I had it. Oh no! Oh.
yeah. Well, shit, I lost it. Fuck.
I don't know where it
They're
went.
they're very much like Tyler Durden after he gets beat the fuck up in the basement in Fight Club. It's like, no, I have it. No, fuck, I lost it. Like that. I feel they're right about there.
And Tiff.
I concurred already.
You did. You did.
I agree that they are a powerhouse and they are a huge organization, and I don't think that they are going anywhere anytime soon. Just like that last Disney movie was kind of shit. I bet Disney closes up shop soon. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I just don't know that. I mean, clearly they blow all the rest of these companies out of the water, but I don't know that it's fair to keep them in the same category anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They've got all the potential. I would love to see them realize it. Not that I'm dissatisfied with my Wii U. I am very satisfied, but I recognize that I am a very unique customer. Like, I don't play a lot of games.
Certainly are, Starfish.
All right. Well, we're going to take ourselves a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some of our favorite Stone Age Gamer memories. So, you're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast on geekade.com, so stick around.
Good God.
So can we go to sleep and then get up and go to work and then eat dinner and all those things during the break we're about to have?
No, we're gonna keep fucking going. Oh man, my butt hurts on the hardwood
It's
floor.
like an hour and a half.
Why don't you
I
sit on
know.
a pillow?
I
No,
knew this
no
was going to be
pillows.
an ass burner. Ryan, I don't know. I mean, you're welcome to stick around if you want. I don't know how much you're going to have to contribute
Yeah,
to this.
I don't think I've enough to contribute to stay.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ryan.
Besides all the times I was on, which were probably some of the best moments, but others.
Obviously, they were the best.
I'm not going to disagree, Ryan. Some of my favorite moments are from your episodes, so
That's true.
Unfortunately, some of it didn't make it onto the actual podcast.
most of it didn't.
There were definitely some stories we could not put on the podcast. Oh, Mr. Cosby.
All right, guys. I'm gonna bow
Thank you
out.
for joining us, Ryan. And thank you for supporting us for this fucking show.
Yeah, and when you feel better, Skype me sometime so we can talk.
Yes. I've been rather consumed with this podcast for the last week or so and buying a new car. And yes, we will Skype soon.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
Later, Ryan.
Take it easy.
Later.
And speaking of Skype, hi Twitch. How's everyone doing? Are there still people here?
Yeah, I can't see numbers anymore. I only see red. There's people here though. Hang on.
Well, thank you everybody on Twitch for listening. This second part's gonna be, I don't know, we're just gonna bullshit for a little while, talking about our favorite memories, and then we're gonna call it a night.
Look at that. People, yeah, there's people.
So
I'm very excited about this part. I have copious notes.
Pizza guy's got 30 seconds. Let's do this.
Yeah, we're gonna do the commercials later. We'll figure those out another time.
Did you send those?
We'll do it live.
I think I put it in the Slack chat, but we'll do it later.
I have no idea
Don't.
where my phone is. I still don't know where my phone is.
That's okay.
It's over there.
I wish it was over there. It's not. Over
No, the last things in the Slack chat were from Evan saying he's not going to be on.
Oh shit, that's right. I put it in I sent it to the TWEP. I didn't send it out to you guys because I figured we weren't gonna do it tonight anyway. So.
You put it in the twap?
And the TWEP. The TWEP.
This week's episode podcast. TWEP.
I'm ready. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Well, I'm loose. I'm loose. Let's do this.
All right, how are we doing this?
Carefully.
Yeah, actually the exact opposite. I don't have a lot of structure to this. I have a handful of notes for myself, and we'll just go around the room and talk about stuff. And we're back. Thank you for sticking around. I know this is a long episode. It's a bit of an ass burner, but it's our 100th episode spectacular. So now we're gonna sit around and talk about how much we love ourselves. So, Tiff, you seem to be very excited about this second segment. And you have copious notes. So why don't you start us off with one or two of your favorite memories?
Okay, I will. Okay, I'm going to start with my all-time favorite episode all time. And it was episode 51, Biscuit Restrictions.
Love that name.
This episode was, we were doing a recap of what we were playing for the month, and this month Dean had been playing Witcher 3. And I don't even really, I think Dan started to complain about how in Skyrim, if you carry too much stuff, you slow down. And Dean was talking about how much better Witcher was because it would automatically equip things. So, like, if you were hungry and eating a biscuit, and you finished your biscuit, it would automatically equip the next biscuit. And that somehow turned into a unlimited biscuits and gravy bag, which then somehow went on to McWitcher, and I think we ended up having to reset our mayonnaise cannon free zone again for the day.
Oh god, the mayonnaise cannon.
Oh, I missed it. I'm bringing it back. Next episode, we're
Oh,
freaking bringing back the mayonnaise.
Thank you, Tiff. Thank you.
Oh man, good times.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, that was a good one. I forgot about that.
It was a good one. And plus, anytime there's unlimited biscuits and gravy, I'm there.
That's true. That's always a good situation. I'll go next. Obviously I want to talk about the first episode because I'd been wanting to host a podcast for years, and I thought it was really cool that Dean asked me to do it, and it was before we knew that Stone Age Gamer was already a thing, and I did an episode about how I wanted my son's first game to be Space Invaders, and it was a really memorable experience. I still remember sitting at my desk. I still remember the exact feeling of being like, I'm doing this. I'm on a podcast, and I don't think anyone's listening to it, and I'm pretty sure nobody was at the time. But
1,500 listeners later.
yeah, 1,500. I mean, I'm here now, and I'm hosting a video game podcast, and there are people that I don't know that listen to me talk about this on a regular basis, which is ridiculous to me. It's absolutely absurd to me that this is a thing. But that first episode was just, it was a hell of a night, and that's one of my favorite memories, obviously. Mike, what about you?
I enjoyed our Capcom versus Konami debate, you know, because for a while we just thought it was just going to be neck and neck, and you know, it was more or less, what was it? It was us just constantly bringing up Mega Man, Street Fighter.
Yeah, it was a lot of the Capcom stuff was redundant. It was trying to reiterate that a lot of their titles are very big titles now. I mean, granted, that was, geez, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It was big enough for 2 episodes too.
Yeah.
We split that sucker in half.
And
did an episode in between too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing we were bringing up was that Mega Man had so many iterations and stuff, but Konami just had things that were more recent and bigger. I mean, you know, Capcom hasn't done anything huge, really. I mean, you can't even count Street Fighter V, and Konami happened to squeak out Metal Gear Solid 5, and that turned out to be a fucking huge hit, and Capcom didn't have anything to retort with, so they're still kind of winning that battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was a super fun episode. That was really episode 4.
Yeah.
I was really low on the list.
4 and 4.2.
Wow.
And that's where my Castlevania thing, you know, mainly originated.
Castlevania. Yeah.
Mike's catchphrase. Dan, how about you?
Dan's in awe. He is in awe.
Okay. Dean, how about you?
Okay. My favorite memory was when the first time, I don't remember why the fuck we did it, but we thought an After Hours podcast was a good idea for some reason. And, that was the biggest train wreck ever. That was the only After Hours podcast. No, there were 2, and the other one after that was just as big as a train wreck as the first one. But I had so much fun just shooting the shit, because I mean, as much as it doesn't seem like we... Hello, are you guys back?
Hi.
Okay.
Yes, we're back. Sorry.
Okay.
I was like, we have to get back on for this because we need to talk about this.
Well, we skipped Dan, so Dan can jump back in after this. I was talking about the first...
No, we can hear you. Yeah, we were
okay.
actually trying to get back on so we could talk about the After Hours episode.
Okay, yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything to say about that?
Where we all almost came to gladiatorial blows by the end of it when Chris came back from vacation and he's like, I will slay you all.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a pretty good episode. That was a good time. That was the second episode because Chris was on the first episode I
was on the first After Hours. I was pretty pissed at the second one.
Yeah.
I know that you were.
Yeah,
I don't think you were that angry.
the first one.
I think we could make you angrier.
We spent about an hour and a half making fun of Nintendo while Chris was out, for those who don't know, and it was it didn't go well.
Not the best idea. But what was it? The first episode, I just remember being like, welcome everything, blah blah blah. And I'm like, so what's up? And no one said anything for like had to be 10 seconds, and then Chris just starts laughing, and I'm like, this is already just going downhill. But yeah, like the growing pains and stuff like that. I mean, even when it comes to other things we do, like Paper Cuts has been around almost just as long as Stone Age Gamer, and the train
and
wreck,
it's so much better. Oh my god,
Shut
just
stop it.
Smoother.
Stop
and
it. You stop it.
Really, it's Matt Much that gives you guys the edge.
No, he
no,
ties
it really
that shit
is.
together.
I'm not fucking taking credit for it, but
yeah, the growing pains that we've gone through and stuff and transitions has really, kind of made us who we are. And I mean, getting mail about people laughing about certain things in an episode, or fucking people sending emails and calling me the Vest Lord, like, That warms my fucking heart, man. Things like that, just yeah, good times. But yeah, the one of my favorite things was that episode and reading Rainbow Six.
Oh, that's on my list. Dan, what do you got?
Yeah, I was going to go with the Reading Rainbow Six with the trivia stuff. I mean, I think that's one of the ones that Tiff won.
That's the only one that Tiff won that made it officially the best trivia episode ever.
Episode
I would
38, Tom Clancy's Reading Rainbow.
I would like to say that
God.
I am so much better at trivia than the rest of you.
Fair
I beat you.
Yeah, once.
I think I was only in 2.
Whatever. But yeah, the trivia episodes were really fun. Just because of
the arc of prismatic colors, 297 minus 291. You got it, Dean? Do you know what it is?
6.
There you go. There was a lot of ridiculousness that happened with that. Like a lot of shit that really seemed obvious, but then going back and listening to it and being like, "No, that's still obtuse as fuck, man." Like nope, I still don't get it, even though I know the answer.
I was re-listening to one of the trivia ones on my ride up here today, and like I didn't remember half those questions. It was the game where you were putting the last word of the first game as the first word of the second game.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was
God.
good.
That was so much fun. I was listening to I don't remember any of these things, and then it was the I mentioned this on the pre-show, the Iron Man thing.
No, you mentioned that downstairs. You didn't mention it.
Oh, I mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, so it was let me see if I remember what this was. It was the musician part of it, and you had to guess the musician in the game and what the game was. And Dean had a Brutal Legend one, and we were talking about. I mentioned like, boy, that Avengers just came out, and Iron Man sure was great in there, and Dean, totally not putting together Ozzy Osbourne, suggested Robert Downey Jr. as the musician in the game.
He's a great musician.
Damn near crashed my car on the way here, laughing so hard at that. There were some, absolutely.
I say a lot of dumb shit on this show.
The Rainbow Six one was just that was probably my favorite moment of the entire run of this show. I have never laughed harder. That was just incredible, just absolutely incredible.
It was. I felt bad when I went back and listened to it because we were not nice.
No, we were not.
About Dean not being able to subtract 3-digit numbers, and
yeah, but the entire rest of that episode we spent laughing at you for your incorrect word usage.
Fuck you, I used pariah correctly.
But it wasn't even just pariah. Like 2 more times in the episode, you used a word where we're like, nope, swing and a miss.
Those fuckers are not as smart as me. There's no reason to get all persnickety. But yeah, like we were brutal about that, Dean, and I'd like to take this moment to apologize. But also, you kind of deserved it.
Here's an apology, but fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an apology, but fuck you at the same time.
Fuck you, I'm sorry.
Thank you, and suck my dick.
Tiff, what else you got?
I got. We got to give a shout out to J Payne because I think that she was responsible for some of the best moments, including episode 33, Barbie's Horse Nazi Adventure, where I believe we got racist by a minute 45 seconds into that episode. Is when the first white supremacy mention was made.
Oh, I forgot there was a whole Dean being a racist thing for a while there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
For a while, for like always. Come on now.
That episode was so much fun to record. Jess was hilarious on that episode. That was our guilty pleasure game episode, and hers was Harvest Moon, and she talked for like 13 minutes straight about virtual cow nuzzling, and it was awesome.
It was a little creepy.
And I would like to say, at the time, my guilty pleasure at the time was Candy Crush, and I was like, yeah, you know, between the couple different varieties of Candy Crush, I'm on level like 536. And I was like, that's interesting. I wonder where I am now. Yeah, 1191 is the levels that
Still
I've
going,
done.
huh? You still on that?
And that doesn't count the king games. Like once a week you get to play to be like the king of the world of Candy Crush. Wow. And so none of those levels are included in that number also.
That is astonishing. I haven't even
thought of
Candy Crush for a while.
I don't know if I'm proud of that or embarrassed of it.
Well, I mean, to
both
be
during
fair, all we
Escape.
talk about is Puzzles and Dragons now.
That's true, yeah.
But see, that's the thing, is I have played Candy Crush to this level, I don't talk about it. Ever.
It's not true.
That is completely untrue. I don't talk, other than going, and he goes, what? And I say, I lost a level. That is the most conversation that happens about Candy Crush.
It's not true.
However, I would say 80% of our conversation has something to do with Puzzles and Dragons.
A little
It's not
bit
true, it's-
behind the scenes for you, you geekade people out there. We have a bunch of group chats going on, and the most active chat that we have in our group chats is a Puzzles and Dragons chat. Not any business we conduct. Puzzles and Dragons.
And it's just 4 of us, and Evan doesn't chat all that much, so it's really just me and Dean and Matt talking about...
So, see how much you get to talk about it, and you still talk about it that much with me?
Puzzles and
It's a
Dragons.
sickness, dear.
I love you. And want to share things with you.
Oh, God.
No.
Alright, what else you got, Chris?
Well, another one of my favorite highlights would be, well, it was episode 3, Sequelization, which was my first time hosting and Mike's first time on the show. And that was special for that. But I was also a really big fan of episode 6, which was Chiptune Trivia. Because I've always been obsessed with video game music, and I ripped off Radio Free...
Nintendo?
Radio Free, no, it was Nintendo World Report,
Okay.
Radio Trivia Podcast Edition. I just ripped it off wholesale and did an episode of that where I did chiptune trivia. What retroactively makes me happy about this one is that one of the games that I did on that episode was Pitfall 2, which I was later called out from our friend of the show, Lou Beaver, who it made him extremely happy to hear that song on the episode. And Lou passed away a year or so ago, and it retroactively makes me happy that this dude I barely talked to for years, who was having a real rough time with health, I did a podcast that made him really happy, and so that episode's always going to be pretty special to me for that reason.
People miss the chiptune trivia, Chris. They do want to return.
Well, I have been putting a lot of thought into a return of trivia in general. I don't know if I'm going to I'll do occasional round of chiptune trivia, but I'm in a job situation now where I have there's the possibility of me actually being able to put time into writing trivia again. So I'm looking for a way to make that work into a once a month trivia in the podcast in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully we'll get the return of Stone Age Gamer trivia sometime in the coming months.
I'm just gonna lose. I don't even know why it's.
And it will always be funny. Because, going
It
back
will
and
always
listening to
be
this
funny.
stuff, like, some of my favorite memories come from those trivia episodes. And, like, they're really difficult to edit, but I don't edit the show anymore, so
Not your problem.
So, fuck you, Evan!
I love you.
I don't.
There's going to be some,
I do.
there's definitely some logistics to work out there, but it's something I want to add back into the show.
To group a bunch of favorites, anything that we've had guests on have been magnificent, like car fires, just in their rough states, the things that we say, and like, going back when we had, I think the most recent one was Ferg.
Oh, the Ferg episode was great. Ferg was such a good guest.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Ollie was great.
Yeah, Ollie was that. That was episode. 88 was Ferg is fine, and 39 was Ollie time. That was nuts getting to interview Banjo Guy Ollie, because we kind of caught him before he blew up, and he's just such a cool dude. He's such a nice guy. He's so much fun to talk to. He's so interesting. He was almost my co-host for Waveback. I'm super happy with Vicky. I'm really glad that things worked out the way that they did, but it was really fun doing that one episode of Waveback with him. Ollie's just, he's a magnificent person. If you don't know who Banjo Guy Ollie is, Google him, look at his YouTube page, and listen to his amazing banjo covers of video game music.
Oh
He's
yeah, he's
stellar dude.
second to none.
And Ferg, the host of the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, that was such a fun episode. He is an extremely nice guy, and his podcast to me is relentlessly fascinating. I could listen to this guy talk about Atari games forever, which fortunately there's pretty much an unlimited supply of those. So.
And I mean our first ever guest, Ryan,
Yep.
which we mentioned it on the break, but people won't get to hear that likely. The first that he was pretty much our first guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. But, you know, me being an idiot and all, I said whatever came to my head. And man, did that make for a hell of a break. Oh, God. The things that were said can't ever be released, and I don't know if we even have the master to release it anymore. But,
I do.
One day.
One day.
Maybe one day, because, oh, God.
With enough Patreon support, you too can hear us say some racist, homophobic, xenophobic shit that will make you think twice about us.
It was also probably pretty sexist.
It was probably pretty sexist.
We
It was
covered all the
basically a
bases.
Donald Trump rally.
Yes.
It was something. But I mean, any of the guests that we've had on, we've always had a good time. It's always been great stuff. I mean, this show has really brought us all together, and I mean, we've met a lot of new people from it, and I have a lot.
Tiff and I got married. I mean,
What?
we weren't married before we started the show, and it brought us together.
Shut up.
Oh,
I was gonna say that. Dan, that's a lie. But okay.
I would like to bring up possibly Dean's best line. That it was certainly line of the show. It's probably line of the month, and probably line of Dean's career. When we were talking about Wing Commander with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Dean popped out with, "What, you didn't like She's All That in Space?" And that was fucking hysterical. It was so quick. I mean, it was
Spot
it,
on. Delivery was
like
flawless.
Dean will appreciate this. The rest of you will not appreciate this because it's not going to make it to air, I don't think, if it ever does come to air. But it was as quick and as funny as 12 Years a Chef, and that shit.
Yeah, no, that's cut out
ridiculous.
of that. That's not getting put in that.
It was just so smart and so funny. She's All That in Space. I don't remember.
And that
Tiff,
was-
you wrote the episode down, I think.
Yeah, it was episode 19. That was only like my 4th episode, and I was trying to be all like, I have a serious argument for like why I'm going to talk about this episode, and that was fucking hilarious and totally threw me off my game there. But that episode actually is notable for that was my favorite Kris and Tiff fight, which we usually had one an episode, at least one every other episode. But that one was
tonight too.
Yeah.
You and I went round and round on that episode about Goro's second set of arms from Mortal Kombat.
Oh God, good times.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. What was that? You thought they were like paper mache, right?
No. There are a couple of scenes in the movie where the arms are just prosthetics that are glued to the sides of his body. And he's got strings that go from his first set of arms to the second one so that they both move at the same time. And you rattled off every single scene in which those arms moved independently of himself. You were like, no, there's when he's having dinner, he crosses one arms, and then there's another one where he picks a guy up, another thing, and then he's a robot. It's a robot.
I watched
mentioned
that
that
movie so many more times than anyone should.
You must have. You really, really must
I
have.
was
But
way too into that movie. It was so awesome.
Oh, and that was also the Mario's Dead episode.
poor Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, because we were talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. And like you guys were like, yeah, you know, the sequel, and maybe when she comes back, and maybe this, and I was like, yeah, except Mario's dead, and everyone was like, oh my god.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, you know, I like to keep it real.
So, Mike, go ahead.
I've always enjoyed since I've been a listener for a lot longer than I was on. I've always enjoyed listening to the trivia and all that stuff and the chiptune stuff, because when I first met Kris, we worked together, and I go in the back room, and he has his phone down, and he's listening to music. And Dean's gonna love this, because it was one of the songs from Bubsy. Dean's favorite game. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything can go wrong.
And it's just fun being a listener and, like, you know, being able to answer the questions, you know, obviously to myself, because I'm just listening in a room, you know, but I've always enjoyed listening to those.
Yeah,
That
They were
Bubsy
some of my
really
favorite
threw you
episodes
off.
too.
Khan's a cons have been fun too when we do the live stuff.
Oh, the live panels. Yeah, those are really interesting.
You know,
As it happens, I still have my King of All Cosmos pillow laying around here somewhere.
Yeah, I am looking at my perler bead Maurice Moss that is hung above my television.
I have my Batman comb and the Ronald McDonald from Hell in a bag in a box in my closet, and the Sega thing that.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't you buy a system at one of them too?
Still don't know how I lost to the kimono with that Sega Japanese machine from Hell, but I have that. It's in my collection.
Because I made it part of my identity, Chris.
Christ.
It's when I need more power, I put on the kimono now. When the vest isn't enough, the kimono gets equipped. So yeah, but I mean just going around, you know, doing silly stuff like that is fun. You know, we get to meet new people. You know, when we did the thing at Too Many Games, there are people in there who have never heard of our podcast before, and seeing them laugh and stuff, and like pick up their phones to subscribe halfway through, that felt good. That was a good feeling that we could reach people outside of just what we do in our separate rooms all the time.
It's not just our friends that listen to us.
Yeah, there's actually people we don't know that listen to the show.
At this point, we've gone far beyond our friends, even if we count all the staff members and their friends. We have gone far, far beyond that, and
we need more, though.
Yeah, no, we need more. Yeah, we totally need more. But
tell your friends.
Yeah,
follow, like, subscribe.
Yeah,
that's where you come in.
But,
yeah, going back and listening to this show, we're goddamn funny. We should be way higher on the fucking iTunes chart. You hear that, other podcasts that I don't listen to, so I can't say names of because I don't know them? We're coming for you.
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith, you watch out, man. You watch your ass, Smodcast.
Right behind
Spoilers, man.
I think that's copyrighted.
Welcome to Fat Man on Batman.
Oh, that's definitely copyrighted.
I can do it. I'm chubby.
We're not getting paid for it, so it's fine.
Yeah, but he's not chubby anymore.
Yeah,
He's still chubbier than I am. I have more hair than he does.
Alright, so
Anyway.
do we have any others to keep going, or?
Tiff, you got any more?
Yeah, I got one more. As I was listening to snippets here and there and trying to like pick out which episodes and whatnot, episode 52, Half Portal 7, with what we it
was an E3
it was
predictions, right?
E3 predictions,
Oh,
and most notable, there's one moment in there where we were talking about Lego Dimensions, and we're like, we think this is really going to be huge, it's going to be really awesome, and obviously it was, and that's really cool and everything. But at one point, Dan was like, yeah, I can't wait until they get like some, like, I'm looking forward to like maybe some Ghostbuster stuff or whatnot, and I was like, there's not going to be any Ghostbusters, stupid. As I currently look at my Lego Dimensions Ghostbuster set. So,
with the movie,
you know, I'm gonna. Oh, yeah. There was an Angry Birds thing where you're like, Angry Birds is not an enduring character. Nobody cares about a movie. Nobody cares about merchandising.
How
and
wrong
like,
I was.
Yeah.
I was on that train too. Yeah, and I'm still pissed at how wrong I am.
You're the one that said it.
Yeah, I cannot believe that Angry Birds movie is tracking well. I'm astonished.
Our kids wanted to see it.
Yep.
Katie said to me today, we saw a trailer. Yeah, we saw a trailer today, and she was like, "Daddy, can we go see that?" I said, "Fucking no." Get your ass a job and take yourself.
Dan's waiting for the Puzzles and Dragons movie.
That's happening. If
right? I
Tetris is
will
gonna
watch.
have a
There's
movie,
an
Puzzles
anime
and Dragons
coming.
are gonna have it.
Jesus.
Fuck you! It's amazing. Yeah, no, this is a great show, and you're all lucky to have me.
Of course.
It's true. Well, I guess the last one I have on my list is another one of my favorite moments, and I didn't go back and listen to it specifically. It's just something that popped into my head. Was episode 54, commemorative spoons. Listening to Dan talk about commemorative spoons. It was like 5 minutes of just ranting about commemorative spoons. Shit was
Don't get him started. He'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Listening to me rail against my mother.
That shit had me rolling.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
Comedy comes from pain, so.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Dark place, Dan. Let's bring it back.
I would like to mention way back on that very first episode when we started talking about amiibos, and I think it was 8 that you said you had to have, and then after that you were done and you weren't getting any more amiibos?
Yeah.
Where are you at now?
Not a whole lot more, to be honest. Especially not ones that I've bought. I've had a lot bought for me, which is kind of cool. Some folks out there have been extraordinarily nice to me in that regard. I limited myself to one character per franchise. So, like, I have a Mario amiibo. I didn't get Luigi, no Bowser, no Toad, no nothing. Like, I didn't even get Yoshi. Like, I have a Mario amiibo. That covers that universe. I have Pit. I didn't get Dark Pit. I didn't get Palutena. So, like, every single one of the franchises that there was a character for, I picked up. So, I eventually picked up Shulk. I picked up Marth. I got the Inkling girl from Splatoon. I think, let's see, where am I at? Kirby, Donkey Kong,
Fox.
I think I probably have, like, that I actually bought maybe around 12, maybe 14. I think it's 12. And then somebody bought me a Yore and Yoshi amiibo. Somebody bought me the retro Mario amiibo. Somebody bought me the 3-pack with Game & Watch, Duck Hunt, and Rob, which is hysterical because I have sitting on my shelf my actual Rob next to a Rob amiibo. So I have a toy of the toy that I have. There's just something inherently wrong about that, but yeah.
So you'd say you got about 20 now?
I'd say I own about 20. Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any crap for that because I said we weren't going to have any, and we have 6. So
which ones do you have?
So I'll give. We have Shovel Knight, Mega Man, Pikmin, Little Mac, Pit, and who is that over there? Ryu?
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
Ryu.
The Ryu one. How do you say no to that? It looks so good. It's fantastic.
I said no lots of times actually, and there it is still.
The only one I have.
I believe I stood in the aisle in the store going no, but yet there it is.
There are only 2 I have, and the one is the Jigglypuff that I like to laugh at from time to time because it's goofy as fuck. And then I have the one you got me, which is of course Mega Man, because it's fucking Mega Man. I can't not. It's majestic, and I love Mega Man so much.
That's such a good figure.
Yeah,
I guess that's the thing that I like so much about the amiibo is, I mean, I really enjoyed scanning them all into Super Mario Maker. That shit is hysterical. Like playing as the Duck Hunt dog in Mario Maker.
We haven't used any of them for anything. We just have them.
Yeah, no, they
on
just
TV.
look cool.
Yeah, they're really nicely designed figures, and I mean, at this point, I
Except
can't
for that
even,
fucking Link.
Ugh,
Lonk.
they need to make a new one. Like, they just need to make a new Link. I will rebuy Link if they make a better looking one that is not standing on a P stand. It's fucking ridiculous. Ugh. Well, any other final thoughts?
My arms are getting tired.
All right.
I would just the last thing I would like to bring up is the the well-intentioned plans that we have every now and again of like, we're gonna do this week, and then this week, and then this, and it's gonna fall off and then it just all fucking goes to shit, and we're like, let's talk about what we've been playing for 6 months. That's all we're gonna do. I like that this show tries to be serious and ends up to just being a giant clusterfuck. I think that's way more fun.
We make our clusterfucks look majestic as shit.
That's true, because like
Lit AF.
we try to we do a decent amount of planning ahead, but
Well,
You
to
do.
be fair, you do.
True.
Hey, I took notes today.
I do a lot of work planning ahead for, you know, between this show and I'm on 3 different podcasts, and it is a decent amount of work put in all this stuff, but I'm the host of this show. That's why I have to do preparations for it. I always write myself a script and, you know, things to talk about every week, but it's kind of hard to come up with unique ideas for shows all the time, which is why we started covering, you know, talking about things that have been happening in the news, because there's a limitless well of things that happen in the gaming industry that are worth talking about.
It's why the next 100 shows are just going to be a repeat of the first 100 shows.
Yeah, pretty
We're
much.
gonna do HD remakes.
Yeah, exactly. Next week we're going to talk about what my second kid's first game should be. I'm lying, we're not going to do that. It's still Space Invaders.
It'll always be Space Invaders.
Mm-hmm.
Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame, yes. Good lord.
Clock Tower should absolutely be a child's first game.
I was thinking Doom.
Original or
I don't know. This Barbie horse Nazi adventure sounds pretty good.
Ooh.
I hear that's out of print now.
It's very hard to get.
Hard to get.
Well, you can emulate
You
it.
can emulate it, yeah. All right, well, that's our show. Once again, you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com, as well as all flavors of social media that we inhabit. You can like us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Geekade, subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels for all our latest video content, and follow us on Twitter at _Geekade. You can also find us individually on Twitter. I am at Geekade Kris, that's Geekade Kris. Dan is at
Geekade Dan.
Dean is at
Kimono_Vestlord.
and Tiff, are you on Twitter?
I don't want to talk to anybody.
Okay, Mike.
I am. You can. I'm on Nintendo NJ.
Nintendude, spelled how it sounds.
Yeah, it is.
If you're interested in more information about anything we discussed tonight, be sure to check out the show notes, and while you're at it, you can also subscribe to this and any of our other wonderful podcasts on iTunes, or if you're super nice, you can leave us a review, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. We'd also like to thank Mark TDK Knight for our show's theme. You can check him out on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, or his website, which we have linked to in the show notes. Again, always remember to keep your eyes on geekade.com, where we post something new every single day. I would also like to thank myself for no longer saying, Dean, do the thing. I would also like to thank Dean for no longer doing the thing. I'd like
Thing.
Remember the thing? I used to say, Dean, do the thing at the end of the episode. And he would just yell show notes and then fall off a chair or something. It was very bizarre. I want to give another big thanks to our special guests, Mike, Tiff, and Brian, who didn't join us for the second segment. But thank you guys for joining us again for this. This is a ridiculous situation having this many people on a podcast, but it was really fun to talk to you guys again in this setting. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me for this one.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
And another thank you to everybody who listens to our show. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and we still can't believe that you exist, that people listen to this show. And one more time, we are giving away a $100 gift card to StoneAgeGamer.com in honor of our 100th episode, courtesy of Stone Age Gamer for being so nice to us. And all you have to do is subscribe to Twitch or subscribe to YouTube, and we'll pick one random name from all of our subscribers, our myriad number of subscribers, which is really not that many. So your chances are good, and we will choose.
Don't put it like that, Chris.
I'll just go.
Your chances are shit. But do it anyway because you fucking like
hundreds upon hundreds of subscribers. Yes.
Gambling is fun.
Enjoy.
It's like a rare egg machine.
Oh God.
I did it.
Shit.
Go ahead, Chris.
We will see you all again right here in 1 week. On behalf of myself, Dan, Dean, Mike, and Tiff, keep playing games.
I'm Dan Ryan.
All right, we've got this. We've got this in like 3 parts because our Audacity stopped several times. I'm going to go upstairs because my child is crying. But it's lovely talking to you, gentlemen.
Thank you for joining us again, Tiff, and stop that child from crying and have a wonderful night.
Keep playing games.
and keep playing games.
Well, I'll keep playing Candy Crush, but, you know. Alright, see you guys later.
Right. I'm gonna go shower because some of us have to get up at fucking 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning.
Wow, 6 now. Wasn't it earlier before?
Well, yeah, when I was driving from Staten Island to Camden,
right,
it was like 5, but...
I'm still at 5:30, but I took tomorrow morning off because I'm fucking here.
Not literally.
I'm not fucking here.
No.
I'm just here.
I can't take any more days off because my boss is a whore.
Yeah, I really can't afford this because I don't get any kind of, like,